Hello everybody, my name is Joji and this is my knitting journal, and it's a nighttime edition because if I don't record in the evening I think I won't be recording again because I'm very lazy to do it during the day. So I thought, well, it's nice to meet you all in the nighttime even if I have a big LED lamp over my head. So I thought, okay, I will just go ahead and record even if it's dark and the colors of the things that I show don't work so great. Today is Thursday, June 20, 2019, and we celebrate a national holiday here today because it's our national flag day and people don't have to go to work. My kids didn't go to school. But I've been working all day, and that's mainly why I kept postponing recording the journal, because I had to do many things today and I always push the journal to the last, and here I am 6:30 starting my journal in the evening. As you can see, it's pitch dark already. It's the middle of winter and I think it's getting dark now at about 6 p.m. which is really early for Buenos Aires, maybe even earlier than that. But soon the days will start getting longer again because today is June 20. We're very close to our winter solstice. So hopefully now we will have more time to record even if it's a bit late. I hope you are doing very well. It's been 2 weeks. I promised I was going to record every week, but it just doesn't happen, and I have so many things to show you. I have two featured patterns today. I'm not wearing my cowl very nicely. I should have styled it a bit better, but this is one of today's features pattern. It's a new pattern that just came out about an hour ago. No, maybe more than that, a few hours ago, and it's called Striped Bubble Cowl. You have seen this cowl before. I started working on this back in April, and this project came with me to Portland, Maine, and I was working on it over my birthday. So yes, it's now finished and it's a published pattern on Ravelry. Okay, so again, it's called the Striped Bubble Cowl, and I used 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, a gray and a pink, a gray and a very soft pink, and not most, but a lot of people commented saying that they really like the blue and white colors that I used, and so I think that probably I'm not adjusting the colors of my photos so well, because it's dark gray and pink, and I have no idea how they show in this nighttime edition. I hope they don't show blue and white. This pattern is worked in the round with circular needles, but since I already knew when I had the idea of making this that it was going to be garter stitch, and I am really not so fast purling with circular needles, I wanted to give myself an easier time. So what I did is I knit every row basically. So can you see there's a joining line there? This is of course the back of the cowl. No one's going to see that, but what I do is I knit one row, and then at the end of that row I join the first and the last stitch together, making an increase. And then I turn around my knitting and I knit in the opposite direction. And when I get again to the end of the row, I join both ends of the row, and then I turn my knitting again. So I'm knitting every row back and forth, but at the end of every row, I join it together, and it leaves that joining line that you just saw. So it's striped in garter. Very easy, it's knit every row. You start with a bobble edge. No, I start with a provisional cast on here, let's suppose, and then I work all my cowl like this. As you can see, there are lines of eyelets to break the repeat a little bit, and then I finish with a bobble bind off. And also then I pick up my provisional cast on and I finish with a bubble bind off on the other side. I suppose that I could do bubble cast on, but I was afraid that it wouldn't look exactly the same as the bubble bind off. So that's why I started with a provisional cast on and then I finished with the bubble bind off on both sides. And I wanted to do different color edges because I was using both colors. And I have this feeling that when you stripe two colors together, sort of like the true identity of each color disappears. It becomes a color that is striped with something else. So I wanted to keep the edges in both singular colors so that you could show off both colors that you use for the stripes. So, and I also like that when you wear it, you can see, well, in my case, of course, the dark edge is not showing much because it's dark here and I'm wearing dark clothes, so it blends with my dress like that. But if I'm wearing something like medium toned or lighter, then you will see, of course, my dark edge, and you can see both edges like that. So I'm really happy with this design. I was trying not to wear it until today so that I could show it to you, brand new. Both yarns that I used are by Manos de Uruguay Yarns. It's a company that I really like to work with. They are based in Uruguay and they are a non-profit company that employs women in COPs and gives jobs to them and helps them provide for their families. So I always like to promote what they do and to share their work. So the pink, the blush pink color is their Fino base in the color Rose Water, and then the dark slate gray is a new base. It's very similar to Fino, but it's just merino. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's a single ply, and this color is called Persistence. So that's my first feature pattern for today, and it's with a discount code, so you can get it with a 20% discount for a whole week. And the other featured pattern are my Chapelco Socks that I showed several times here in the journal. I only have one of the versions that I made to show it to you because I already gave the other version away. So these socks are available in 2 weights. So you buy one pattern, but you get the instructions to make them using either fingering weight like these ones or DK weight. And I don't have that sample anymore because I gave it to my helper here in the house, Sylvia. But the instructions also tell you how to do it, with how to make the socks in 2 colors. Like this sample, and the other sample that I made was DK weight and it was just 1 color. So if you just ignore the color changes, you can of course make them monochromatic. So in the pattern pictures you can see both versions, but I only have these ones. The yarn that I use is by Richard de Vries. He's a Canadian dyer based in Ontario. I don't think it's Toronto, but it's Toronto area. And I used two skeins of the main color, which is this beige brown with gold speckles, and this color is called Trembling Aspens, and the skeins are only 65 grams. They are not full-size skeins, but I needed 2 of them. And then I used just 1 skein of the contrasting color, and the color that I use is called Charcoal. So it has this lovely lace pattern. Wait, there you go. It has a lovely lace pattern there and garter stitch stripes, and then a texture. The light is so bad to show that. A texture and yeah, regular toe, white toe, and a heel flap and gusset. They are worked from the cuff down. They are called Chapelco. Chapelco is the place where my family and I go to ski every year in July. So I really like that place. It brings me good memories, and it's a place where I always can see myself wearing woolen socks by the fire and yeah, really enjoying our winter time. So I hope this doesn't come too strange for everyone watching, the fact that it's so cold here, and I know you guys are so hot over there. Most places. Not everyone who watches is in the northern hemisphere, but most of you are in the northern hemisphere. So I hope it doesn't sound too weird that I'm thinking winter, winter, winter. So yeah, I'm very happy with my socks and my cowl, and these are smaller patterns that helped me through the last months of teaching. Speaking of teaching, I wanted to share with you something really awesome that I lived last weekend. So, as you know, if you have watched the previous two journals, in May I had my last teaching trip. I went to Florida to teach for a good yarn, and that was my last teaching trip, but I had one more teaching job to do, and it was a couple of workshops that I was teaching here in Buenos Aires. So I'm going to tell you about that, how that happened, and it happened last weekend, so I wanted to share with you how everything went. So around May, I would say, not too long ago, I still had to go to Florida, but it was not long ago. My friend Ale, Pura Hilados, she told me that she was organizing a small knitters gathering with a marketplace, together with two other Argentine dyers called Rosa Panda and Hebra Yarns, I think, or Hebra Hilados. And these three ladies had already organized two events before in a small place, and they invited everyone to come and shop and then meet up with other knitters and get together and chat and eat cake and have tea. And the last time they did that, the space was quite small for the amount of people who came, so they were trying to find a bigger place. And I joined my friend Ale in the search for a bigger place, only interested in helping her find a place. And turns out that when we went to see one of the places, it was really, really big, probably bigger than the girls needed for their marketplace. So I had an idea, and I asked Ale, do you think that you would like me to teach a couple of workshops here while you have the marketplace? Because I have never taught in Buenos Aires, and I would like to do it one time before completely retiring from teaching. And yeah, so everyone liked the idea. The girls, the three of them, really liked the idea, and we rented a very big place. It was a co-working space with two different wings. So in one of the wing I was teaching my workshops, and in the other wing they had a space for a small marketplace with 3 stands or booths. And we invited the Argentine knitters to sign up for the classes and to come to the marketplace. We got a really great response from the local audience, and so Well, it happened last Saturday, and I had many feelings. What can I say? Every time someone asks me about how I relate or how I get along with the Argentine group of knitters, I never know what to say because I'm not so active in the local community of knitters, and I don't have a lot of people come up to me and say that they like what I do. I was seriously not expecting so many people to sign up for my classes. I just thought it was going to be something relaxed, and maybe someone came, and I knew that there were a few knitters who started writing to me maybe since a year ago, but I didn't expect the attendance to be so big. But we had full classes for the morning and the afternoon class, and people came from Chile. A big group of knitters came from Chile, and the most shocking thing for me was to see that many knitters came from other provinces and other places of my country, which is something very extravagant to do for an Argentine person, to travel just to come to a workshop. It's very expensive for us to pay for a workshop and to travel somewhere and maybe pay for a hotel room to stay. It's very extravagant. So it was amazing. On Saturday it was a rainy day, very rainy, very gray, but I was happy because I didn't have to travel very far to teach my classes. Charlie came with me and helped me the entire day. He was taking attendance with an attendance sheet that I made for him, and we had some of my bags for sale, which I'm going to talk about later. And Sebi was helping Charlie also sell some bags, and it was really nice. But I honestly wasn't expecting people here in Buenos Aires to be so warm towards me, and they warmed my heart. It was really great. And yeah, I had a really savvy group of students. They are really prepared. They were really experienced. My classes were very advanced, and they were following me very quickly. The Chilean ladies also, they were so prepared, and yeah, it was really great. And I only regret that, of course, I was working. So, and I had both of my classes back to back with no lunch break. So I couldn't see what was going on in the marketplace, and I couldn't get to meet anyone who wasn't at my class. I only came out of my cave, my teaching cave, a couple of times during our coffee breaks. But so many people came. I was looking at some photos of the show. We call it the show. I was looking at some photos of the show, and we had a really great number of people come and join and shop and support our makers and support me. So that was awesome. So thank you. If you're watching and you came, thank you so much for supporting us, for letting us know that you enjoyed on Saturday, and thank you for making all the way there, because the day was horrible and you guys made it really great. So that's that. Then I received a couple of presents from students. The first one I have here is a little ceramic plate with golden engraved letters that says "Knit Happens," and this was a present from Victoria, who came from Mar del Plata, and yes, she knew that I like ceramics, so she brought me this beautiful gift that I really like. I'm thinking that I might hang it in my wall, or I will use it for stitch markers as she suggested. And then Keren from Chile, she is a bag maker and she makes also accessories, and she gifted me this beautiful pair of progress keepers, and she gifted me one with her brand. There you go. It's Keren with 2 E's. Keren. Thank you, Keren. And then Maca has a shop in Chile, and she sells hand-dyed yarns, hand-dyed there in Chile. And she brought me this beautiful skein of superwash merino. Maca's shop is called Sur Knitters, and she also brought me a very useful needle and swatch gauge ruler. And we also had beautiful Connie from Chile Knits. She came from Chile with many friends. Maga was one of those friends. So many people from Chile came. Thank you so much. And Connie brought me this couple of skeins from one of her new bases that is so gorgeous. This is Feather Light Fingering. It's 30% mink, 33% viscose, 18% cashmere, and 12% merino. So it's mink, viscose, cashmere, and merino, and it feels super soft. And it's kind of like an in-between fingering weight and a lace weight, because it has 656 yards per skein. So this is a lot of yardage. And she said that I should name the colorway because it didn't have a name, but I wonder if she was inspired by me, because it's gray and beautiful and I really like it. So thank you everyone. Oh, and she brought Chile Knits pin that says knits are cool. They are. So I'm going to move things over here. Those were all my presents for today, and it was great. Then what can I tell you about? Well, I'm gonna move my socks here. I have a few finished objects that I want to show you first, and then my works in progress. So finished object, I have my socks that I was working on last week. I haven't blocked this. Sorry about the super bright light. Maybe if I put them like that, that's better. These Shorty Socks, I started them not a long time ago, and I finished them super crazy quickly. They are just a ribbed cuff and then a heel flap and gusset, and then a feather and fan all over the top of the sock. I use Vivid Yarn Signature Sock, I think, or Classic Sock or Signature Sock. I think it's Signature in the colorway. I'll have to get back to you on that one. What happened with these socks? A couple of weeks ago when I showed them to you, I hadn't watched the latest show of the Grocery Girls, and turns out that I was basically designing the same sock as Tracy was. Well, it's not the same, it's got its differences, but I felt really silly that I was working on a Shorty sock and she was just about to release a pattern for some of those, because I could have just tested her pattern. So I'm going to hold on to this design for a bit longer because it looks very similar to Tracy's. They are called the Georgia's Socks, I think, because she said that Georgia likes shorty socks. So I'm going to wait for some time until everyone can knit a pair of Georgia socks, and then perhaps someday I'm going to publish mine. They are different, but they really do remind me of Tracy's design. So I'm just gonna wait for a few weeks so that everyone forgets that they look so similar. But I really like mine. I really like these socks. Even my husband said, wow, those are really cute. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to start another pair. And I want to gift a pair of socks to my two friends who are making my bags for me. They are not knitters, so they probably will never knit a pair of socks for themselves. And yes, so maybe shorties are the best for them. They are so cute, they really are. They really are super nice. Yes, so that's one of my finished objects for today. Then I have a sweater that I haven't shown in a while, and I need to fix the pockets for this sweater. So this tunic was inspired, or is inspired, by a sweater that I purchased in Italy. It has a wide, almost like a boat neckline, and a very drop shoulder with shaping for the sleeves here, loose fitting sleeves, and pockets. And the pockets are lined with reverse stockinette stitch, which I really like. But look what happened. I blocked it, and it turns out that the edge of the pocket is too loose. It was, I have to say, it was exactly the same in the prototype that I was trying to replicate, but it didn't bother me there as much as it bothers me now that I made those pockets, and those pockets shouldn't behave like that. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to re-knit the entire sweater. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to pick up stitches along this edge, and I'm going to decrease a couple of stitches, and I'm going to knit a few rows, and I'm going to sew them here. But in the pattern, I'm going to tell you to, when you divide for the pockets, I'm going to tell you to cast on fewer stitches and then work a couple of rows and then increase stitches. So in the pattern, you're going to read the reverse, but I'm going to take the shorter road and just fix my sample. And no one will ever know, because you will have to promise that you won't tell anyone what I just did. Promise me you won't tell anyone. So I love it. It's a long tunic, and I used yarn ink Classic Decay, maybe. It's a merino nylon blend in Decay weight. What I do know is that the colorway is called Pebble, and it's all my favorite colors there: gray, brown, black, navy blue, and I love it. I really do. It's long. It's long, as you can see. You cannot see, but it's long. Those are my legs. And yes, so this pattern, I haven't written it yet, but I have been diligently working on my patterns and my edits, and I have, oh, I forgot to say that I published this pattern today in both English and Spanish at the same time, which is a first time for me. It was a big effort to achieve that, but I did it, and I got a lot of help from editors and translators and stuff. So yeah, I've been working on that. Yeah, so this week I'm going to write this pattern. I'm going to fix those pockets. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I am tempted to add buttons to close the pockets, but I think on one hand, I think they would look cute. On the other hand, I think they might add bulk to the sweater that it's not necessary. So I am not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to write the pattern and have it tested for you soon. Right. Okay. What was I saying? Well, let's talk about another finished object. This one was made by Mom, and it will be published soon. The pattern is almost ready, and I have translated it into Spanish. So I just need to edit it in Spanish, but it's almost ready. So I'm not going to show it to you completely because I wanted to show it to you when it's published. But remember that wrap that Mom was making with Hue Loco's mohair and merino? Well, it's finished and it's gorgeous. I'm going to show you a sneak peek. And it will be published in a few weeks. And yes, I'm so happy. I finally caught up with life, I think. I have to say I'm in a really, really good place emotionally. If you remember last year, I was really burnt out and I kept saying like, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. And I kept saying to my family, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. And I was like, I'm so boring, I'm always tired. And yes, I was just really tired of all the commitments that I had, all the deadlines, all the trips. And you know, it's okay to say when you're sad and when you're going through something that it's keeping you down. But I think it's also important to also let people know that you're feeling okay, that you managed to resolve whatever was keeping you worried or down. So yes, I'm in a really good balance with my work. I'm in a really good rhythm and I'm really, really enjoying everything that I'm doing. And yes, just know that I'm very, very happy. And what else? I have one more finished object that I showed you last week. I showed you the beginning of this. I'm going to take my cowl off because I think that the cowl is taking all the attention. So last week I had just started this project and now it's finished and ready to show it to you. So it's a bit wrinkled because we took it to the show, but this is the shawl that I made using my friend Ale's Pura Hilados Angora, and this is an Angora merino blend. Oh look, I'm missing I'm missing one of my fringes there. No one noticed in the show, no one let me know. But I can see that I had to trim it. Anyway, I'll tell you about it and then I'll tell you what happened, why it's so unfinished. So I used 3 skeins of Pura Hilados Kani. Kani is a merino Angora blend. It's a DK weight and it's custom spun for my friend Ale. Everything is Argentine, sourced and produced and hand dyed. I use colors natural, the white one, and then this is color number 01 and this is color number 02. and I used almost all the skeins, but I had a bit left over. So if you purchase a kit from Ale, then you will have definitely enough to make this shawl. This is a crescent shaped shawl that I blocked very lightly. I have to block it again because I want to get rid of the hump here in the top, if you can see. And as you probably remember, I was going to experiment with mosaic, and I did it at the bottom of the shawl, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out, because it also looks a lot like our traditional knitting here in Argentina. I think it looks really, really sweet. I talked about how I wanted to use mosaic with a design that doesn't have a lot of contrast, because I feel that whenever you use a lot of contrast, mosaic becomes a bit too aggressive to the eye, and I think it worked out really well. I have to trim this fringe because it was Friday night, 2 a.m., and I was drying my shawl with a hair dryer and attaching the fringe to this shawl so that my friend Ale could have it on display for the show. So it was really late. I had to wake up early in the morning to teach the classes, but I really wanted Ale to show something made out of her new yarn. So I'm so glad I did, even if it was missing a couple of tassels, or if I could have trimmed it a bit better. Now that I see it, it seems, I don't know, let me know what you think. It feels kind of empty. I added one tassel to the bottom of the diamond, as you can see there, and then one tassel in between the diamonds. And I think that the tassels are robust enough. I don't know that I would like them to be thicker than this, but maybe that's what's missing. Or maybe if I trim them, they will look a bit less sad. Right now they look a bit sad, don't they? Maybe I just need to trim them. And I did one of each color in a sequence like that. Okay, so that's my mosaic shawl. I should name it. Probably going to name it Alejandra, after my friend, who's the best friend ever. So I hope you're looking forward to Alejandra's shawl, and I have to write it yet. I'm going to do that next week too, and it will be my first time writing mosaic, so I have to make sure that I write the instructions properly so that people know how to work mosaic with my instructions. So lots of finished projects to show. Some of them are a bit old, but they count anyway because I hadn't shown them here in the journal before. So then works in progress. I have a secret piece of knitting that I'm working on that I cannot tell you about, but I'm going to tell you about the yarn that I'm using. This is Shibui Reed. Reed is 100% linen yarn, and it's applied yarn. It's very, very soft, especially for being linen. I have found linen to be quite rough on my hands before, not this one. This one is delicious. And I am using this double-stranded. The color that I'm using is called Bone. And it's not my only Shibui project. I am also working on a new design. This is a summer wrap that I'm designing using same color exactly, but different base. So this is called Vine, and I talked about this yarn last journal. It's a paper. Let me go get one of the skeins. So Vine is 41% paper, 31% cotton, 28% silk. And you can see the texture of the yarn better here in the screen. There you go. You can see that it's a paper tape and it has some string around it. And this is a skein of Reed, the one that I'm using for my secret sweater. And as you can see, both colors are the same. Very colorful projects. So I'm knitting this summer wrap. It's going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be the same pattern all over. But I'm also debating like doing an in-between section of an easier pattern and then resume the lace pattern. This is complicated for me to follow. It's a 28 row repeat, so I have to pay a lot of attention. It has double yarn overs, those big holes, so I have to pay attention to work them correctly. But I'm really enjoying it, guys, because I could see in my head that I was so tired last year that I kept picking designs that were easy. So if I wanted to make like a lace piece, I would say, okay, let's pick a lace pattern that it's easy. Let's pick a lace pattern that you can remember, that you can memorize. And now I'm enjoying the challenge of a pattern that requires me to look at the chart all the time, of a pattern that, you know, challenges me as a knitter, not just as a designer, right? As a knitter. So, and I don't have any pressure. I don't have any deadlines. So I can, you know, I can take my time with work and, so I don't know. I'm in a really good place. So I just wanted to share that with you. The other project that I'm working on, it's an old one, but I think that this old project will soon mutate into something else. So this started as another sample of my Julie's wrap pattern. It's all tangled now. So I wanted to knit a Julie's wrap pattern for a Julie's wrap for myself, because I had given the original sample to my friend Julie. And so I knit most of the garter stitch body of that pattern. And now I had to pick up stitches and work the twisted rib border, but I am kind of bored and I don't want to knit easy things right now because I've been knitting a lot of easy things and I don't have a need for easy things because I'm just staying at home. So I had the idea that I could turn this body, this garter stitch body, into something else. So I'm thinking, I don't know what you think, I'm thinking I could do a color work border because I'll be knitting in the round for the border, so I think that would be cool. I don't know what you think. I know most people are really excited about color work lately, so I have a feeling that could be something fun for everyone to work on. So it would be like a border all around that garter stitch with colors. So I don't know. I say colors like I will be super colorful, and you probably know that I won't be super colorful. Or maybe I will and surprise everyone. Well, it's a gray body anyway, so it won't be very colorful, whatever I do. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking of doing right now. I have been trying to decide what colors to pair this with for 2 weeks and I can't make up my mind. But the yarn that I'm using, sorry about that. There's a yarn on my screen. There you go. The yarn that I'm using is Frida Fuchs 100% superwash merino single ply, and the colorway is Shifa. So we'll see what I combine it with, and if I cannot make up my mind, then I will continue with the original plan, which is to make a Julie's wrap. Well, the other thing that I can show you is my new pottery projects that came from the workshop this week. Thank you everyone for all your comments on my pottery. You guys are the best. Whatever I do, you guys support me. Whenever I want to learn something new, everyone's there for me saying that whatever I do is fantastic. So thank you so much. I feel super encouraged. So first I have a new plant pot that just came from the workshop. I made these plant pots. What can I say about it? Well, it's a slip coat. So basically I painted it with a liquid layer of colored clay, and then I carved these drawings with, I think, yeah, it's like, I don't think it has any special name. The technique is just carving. So it has these flowers and some leaves, and then it went to the oven, and afterwards I coated it with this matte glaze that left this, I don't really mind, but the glaze sometimes leaves these whitish, like milky looking spots, but it could be that the workshop's glaze is not so great, or it might be a bit old, or I don't know. I love it, and I put a kalanchoe plant on that one, and then I have two bowls. The first one was made at the same time as the plant pot. So for this one, I first added those speckles to the clay, like gray speckles on the border. So I applied it all over the pot, and then I applied the slip coat, and then I carved all the little lines that you see there, and then yes, I also applied a slip coat here in the inside of the pot, and then this went to the oven, and I added a matte glaze to this one too. This one, however, it doesn't have so many milky spots. And the last bowl is this one. I did some freehand painting on this one. This one, I have to say that it was more difficult than it looks, because the leaves are, and it has an inside motif too. The leaves were made with copper oxide. So when I was painting with a watercolor effect ink, black, and the copper oxide is also black until you fire it, right? So I had to keep both of my brushes very separate, because one of them was painting with black paint that was later going to turn into green paint, and the other one was just painting with black paint. I love the way it turned out. It's like a teal green, and I love that it transformed so much with the heat that it turned from black into something green. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this one. Signed there. Yes, and this one signed too. So those are going to be presents for very special friends. And yeah, that's it with my pottery. The last thing that I want to talk about is this little crazy project of mine called Joji and Company. As you can see, my bag is now a few months old. I've been using it non-stop, and so the baqueta leather of my bag is now, it has aged and it has its own personality. The logo is a lot more noticeable than it looks on the screen. Like you can really read it, that it says Joji and Company. And yeah, this business of mine is going crazy. So I didn't expect these bags to be so popular. And well, the demand is very, very high, which makes me super, super, super happy that you all want one. At the same time, I don't know how to be able to produce more than we do. The workshop is now working at the top of their capacity. They have, however, increased their production rate a lot. And yes, they are working super fast, but still we cannot keep them in stock for very long. So I just want to say thank you. We are mind blown by the fact that you love our product so much. We love it too. We are very proud of it. I keep using the same old bag. It's not a new one. I keep, testing my bag, trying to see if there's something that's not working properly, if there's something that we can improve. And so far, this is the best knitting bag I've ever owned, and I love it. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, at the beginning of the year, a friend of mine and I had this idea of creating suede or leather bags for knitters, and this is our first product. It's called the BA bag, after Buenos Aires bag. And if you own one, don't think that this is a small bag. I can carry comfortably, very, very comfortably, at least 3 skeins of yarn and maybe more inside this bag. Now it has 150 grams, no, it has 200 grams of yarn, a pair of socks, and 200 grams of yarn in the cowl that I just put inside, and it closed really well. So it's a three skein project bag. It can hold any shawl and some smaller sweaters. The more you use your bag, the more personality your handle will have and your tag, and the softer the suede is going to get. And yes, I really, really enjoy using mine. I don't talk more about my bag because I'm not so great at promoting them, but they really are the best bags I've ever had. And well, we keep making this bag in black and yellow because the demand is so high that we want to supply it to everyone, but we cannot stay still. Both Sylvia and I are very creative, and we think about new products all the time. So we sent 3 new product lines to production. We already received the prototypes. We modified the prototypes to our liking, and the good news is that we have 3 new products under production. 1 smaller product and 2 bigger products, a bigger product and a massive product. And those are going to be slowly introduced throughout the year. But so far we're still trying to at the same time produce BA bags, because this is probably the nicest size to have and to carry. So yes, I cannot show, I would love to show you more. I would love to show them to you and to let you know when they are going to be available, but I know better, and I know that if I show you the new products, you will want the new products now, and the new products are not coming until September, October. So I'm just gonna say that we're very happy. We really appreciate your business. We really, really appreciate that you support this side business that is Joji and Company. My husband is helping me a lot with that part of the business. Charlie has his own work. He works as an IT consultant for different companies, but I asked him if he could join in and do a lot of the paperwork that's required, because now we are selling physical products. So every time we have to sell something, we have to invoice and export. Yeah, it's more complicated than just selling my patterns. So it has become a family business. Charlie's helping me with that, and Sebi and Nano have learned how to pack the bags. So every time we have a big batch of bags, Nano and Sebi come and join us and pack the bags so that they can get some extra money to pay for their video games. And at the same time, I feel very proud that I can teach my children how to work with the family and earn their own money. And yes, so it's been something really wonderful, because so far my family has never been really involved in what I do. They are as supportive as they can be. Charlie takes photographs for me, but the kids don't really understand what I do. It's very difficult to show someone what it means to sell something that is non-tangible. So now that every week we receive bags and we have to pack them and send them to the post office, and there's an address and a name that to whom that bag belongs to. So it's really awesome. At the same time, it has given me the opportunity to dream of what kind of accessories do I want? What are the perfect knitting accessories? What do I want to have my knitting in that I cannot find? And it has really, really allowed me to be creative in a different way. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for allowing me to do that and for liking my ideas and my products. Yeah, so that's about Joji and Company. And then the last piece of news, completely not related to anything, that I wanted to share with you is that I have signed up to run a half marathon. So this is how it happened. I am not a runner, just so you know, but I do my physical activity every week just because I know I have to. The doctor says so you should do your workouts. I have always run a bit, distances of 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers, up to 10 kilometers. Some months or some periods of time I'm much more active, and then some other periods of time I'm much more tired and I just don't want to work out. I really don't enjoy working out. I don't have the runner's high or those hormones that they say your body produces when you run. I don't produce them. It doesn't happen. I've tried. But I visited my friend Nash, who's like my sister in the US. I visited her when I went to Florida, and we were talking about how we were both kind of not very active and it was hard to find motivation. And yeah, we used to be a lot more active, and Nash told me that she used to be a runner and she used to do triathlon races, and yeah, what we should do something to motivate each other. So she says, well, yes, I really want to get back to running. And I said, well, if you ever get back to running and you get back into shape, I will come to the US and run a race with you. That's what I said. I promise. I said that. So then a couple of weeks later, Nash says, were you serious about that? Because I will get back in shape and I will start training, and we should do the Disney's Princess Half Marathon. And I said, well, if you want to sign us up and if you get in, if you get back to working out, I'll do it. And she says, yes, I'll do it. So she signed us up for a half marathon in February 2020. So that's what I'm being busy with. I'm trying to get back to running and trying to train for a half marathon in February. I have hit a couple of stones on the way. 10 days ago, I was really getting back to it. My computer stopped recording. I was getting back to running and getting back to a good pace. And then I came home from a 10-kilometer run and my foot was very, very sore. And yeah, my shoes were okay. They are not old. They are very good running shoes. I use Asics shoes. And I don't know why, but my foot is very, very sore. I'm trying to rest it. I applied ice and I'm massaging my foot. And I'm doing all sorts of exercises, but I wanted to share with you my frustration because I was in a really good mood. I was very motivated and I really want to run this race and be healthy and do this with my friend, but my foot is really giving me a hard time right now. So yeah, if you have any more advice for facial pain, plantar myofascial something, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you have any advice for that, please send my way. Yeah, so hopefully I will recover from this, and in the meantime I'm considering joining a spinning class to pump up my cardio. And I don't know, guys, I have to run 21 kilometers in February, so I have to do it. I have to train. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say this week, and hopefully next week I will be able to record with Mom so that you all can hear what she's been up to lately. Thank you for joining me in this journal and see you soon. Bye!